That's kind of what I got to do. Thank you, Jarhead91. A lot of Jarhead. You see Jarhead, you got a lot of cousins in here. Well. Oof. Well, hello and welcome to Raider HQ After Dark. I'm your host, Raider. Or I should say, welcome to the horror show. Hello. Hi, all. How are you doing? I'm testing out this new camera I'm doing. I'm going to be using this avatar for TikTok, so don't get too freaked out. Hey, Jackie, how's it going? How are you doing? I know it looks nothing like me, but it's the closest I can get. How is everybody tonight? Hey. I do have 103-degree temperature, so don't expect miracles. I am Jarhead91. No, that's not who I was talking about. Dizzy. I am going to be doing a Meniere's video. I have one in the mix, so I've just been kind of... Anytime I don't feel well, I don't like doing too complex of a topic. As you saw today, I kind of explained how to fill out a 4142 and 4142A form. So it's, yeah, I'm trying to, it'll be this week, hopefully. Oh, there's the salty old Marine. Hi. Nightmare Fuel. Yes, it is Nightmare Fuel. Oh, man, it's going to be for TikTok. I gotta put on a face for the kids, because I'll let you know right now, this will not cut it on TikTok. You know, just seeing a little thing every once in a while move will not cut it on TikTok. So you need to do something, and I'm not going to show my face on TikTok. Whenever I end up going the accredited claims agent route, I'm going to actually bite the bullet and show people my face on that one. Ricky Martin. Nice. I like it. But yeah. But less about me and more about you guys. How have all of you been, my fellow veterans and veteran supporters in some instances? I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're not sick like me. I mean, my family gets me fairly ill fairly often. So, can you guys hear me? Am I on mute? Hold on. Let me make the No, I see my little voice thing moving over there. I see my little lips moving on the screen. Okay. So I'm actually loud and clear. Okay, good. Oh, for GC Jarhead. Yeah, no, it's just a normal part of the examination for that. Yeah, I'm over here. I am a full sick call ranger right now. You can't see my hand, but I've got when the medication rattles in the heat of battle, sick call ranger. I'm trying to get the fever down at least. But yeah, so tonight's just kind of a answer your guys' questions, see what's going on. That's me scratching my face. Thinking, nothing too heavy tonight. I haven't seen anything on the M21-1. I will say that whenever I was reviewing the M21-1's changes, the 9th, man, they dropped like 15 different things, but they were all related to authorization and nothing much on there. So the VA hasn't really dropped anything too crazy today. But if you guys have questions, I will try to field them for you. It looks like Dizzy's got one right here for me. No, just served it right up. Oh wait, no, this might not be a question. Got my rating for rhinitis and sinusitis in around 70 days. Had a CMP exam, so I then asked my private ENT to fill out a DBQ, and thankfully it was a positive decision. Well, congratulations. We always like to hear that. I mean, there's no guarantee, obviously, based upon for VA purposes that something will get approved. Sometimes we just don't have the evidence to get something granted, but it's really nice whenever we do. Oops. I used to have a YouTube channel. How did you do the avatar thing? So the way that I did the avatar thing is if you go onto the Steam store and you look up a game, well, it's not a game, it's just a platform to do this. It's called Animes. I'll put it in the chat, but you just pick your avatar. Like I could pick Maze. And then you just stream it. You just share screen, and it's doing it right here. So I can wave, I can go hi, I can give you one finger, I can give you two fingers. So that's what it is. But I don't even. Yeah, the salty old Marine. I'm with you, brother. I am so with you. I don't. Only raise the alarm if the alarm needs to be raised, unfortunately. So I didn't see anything today that really caught my eye. So I have nothing to talk about. It's actually called the Presumption of Soundness. It's called the Presumption of Soundness. And basically what it is that the presumption of soundness is that you are deemed to be perfectly healthy unless the entrance exams for each period of service show that you have something. I'll just give you mine. I had a car accident whenever I was younger, and then whenever I entered the military, they documented my car accident of my right shoulder. And because of that, the only way I could get my shoulder service connected was through aggravation under 38 CFR 3.306. A veteran's statements during service cannot be used against them. So if your entrance exams, you've got no medical evidence showing that you've got a disability, and the entrance exams do not indicate that, well, that's weird. Whenever I turn my chair, it turns just my head. If the entrance exams don't show anything and there's no medical records dated before service that you had the condition that you have, your statements in service cannot be used against you to invoke that the condition existed prior, because if it did exist prior, the examiner should have found it on your entrance exam. But yeah, I can go into more detail about the presumption of soundness. That's a very good topic. I'm actually going to write that down while I'm sitting here. I don't know how long I'm going to be on, guys. I'm going to just try. I'm going to do my best for as long as I can. Video. Presumption of soundness. And if you want to, the salty old Marine could do one too. I put out a video today. Or no, I completed a video today in which I said that there's a lot more raiders that are out. I met 2 more raiders like day before yesterday, I think, if I recall correctly. My days are all blurring together because I'm sick, but I met 2 more raiders that are on the YouTubes. Pretty good. FF and Natural on I got to pull up the channel real quick, but FF and Natural on Her Vet's Voice. Very good raiders. We had a great chat. And I have minimized my screen, and I feel bad because I cannot see anything. There we go. So I had done a video today kind of talking about the fact that I need you guys to all understand that sometimes content creators aren't going to agree, especially raiders. And like if me and Mr. Kimball ever disagree on something, I need you to understand that that's okay based upon the nature of rating. Not all, there's very few absolutes in rating. So a lot of different providers can have a lot of different opinions. And so it hasn't come up yet. Like nobody's disagreed with me. I haven't really disagreed with any other raider, but I just want to get ahead of it and say that if we ever do disagree, it's not like, uh-oh, they're fighting. No, it's just, I am extremely aggressive in overdevelopment when it comes to your claim. If you guys are familiar with overdevelopment, I just make sure that I'm double, triple, quadruple ensuring that the evidence can't be discarded or dismantled or whatever. So I'm going to put that one out probably tomorrow. It's a hot mess, though, editing wise, because my new camera took over halfway through the recording. So the recording got jacked up a little bit. So I'll try to see what I can do with it. But I just got a denial with 3 criteria under 3.4 F5 conceit. What the hell? Wait, you start pulling out that stuff early in the game, I'm just going to be honest with you. Nobody references 3.304 F5. Hold on. I got to look that one up. Part 3. Unless I'm mistaking it. 2, 3, 4. 3.4 F5. Nope. 3. No, what am I doing? 304. Jeez. I am sick. Hold on, let me get there. 3.304 F. Oh, okay. So just got denial for all 3 criteria under 3.4 F5. Personal assault evidence minus conceded and denied under 3.4. Okay. Can you give me a little bit more question on this? Because they will deny it directly under 38 CFR 3.303 and 3.304. They will deny it directly under those two. 304 F5 has to do with PTSD for personal assault. So shoot me an email on that one, J-Dub. Hey, Raider, did you ever receive my email regarding your experience with MSC? No, I did not. I haven't really been myself for the last couple days, so I will look at it. I will look for your emails. I will look for your emails. Oh, I'm so jealous of you, homebody, Miss Katie. You did get a massage today? Or, oh, sorry. I thought you said massage. See, this is what's problem with me. I'm loopy on the meds. I did get a message today. Let's try to be in the here and now. I did get a message today about scheduling my higher level review conference appointment within 48 hours. Haven't talked with my VSO yet, and that was put in early December. Okay. I'd still probably schedule it. Just to make sure, because if they don't, yes, I am using StreamYard currently. So I am using StreamYard. So all my CMP exams are complete and the DBQs have been received by the VA. Claim is now sitting in the National Work Queue. What is next? What's next is for it to be assigned to a regional office for the Raider. That will take as long as it takes, unfortunately. Yeah, it is kind of nice. I got the 60 frames per second one, so it's less choppy. The only problem is my mic gets in the way, so it it doesn't sync up well because if I go over here, then it stops syncing appropriately. I don't know. All right. And then Pamela said something. I want to say Pamela. Sorry, guys. I'm looking for Pamela's original question here. Okay. So it's secondary. All right. That makes more sense. Okay. Thank you so much. I got 2 claims that are definitely in this category. I see nothing in the entrance exams, but both were medical boarded on condition. Yeah. So let's see here. So the presumption of soundness still is required. Like, you have to break the presumption of soundness. You have to have evidence that you can point to or that the VA can point to that breaks the presumption of soundness. If it doesn't break the presumption of soundness, then you should be rated direct, secondary, under the normal criteria. I'm a VTuber now. It's sad. Well, I mean, change is the spice of life, right? So, I mean, I'm not going to do this all the time. It's just going to be something that every once in a while, and it's meant for TikTok. Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'm old. Okay. I don't know if I can get TikTok working. It makes no sense to me. It's like you just, actually, I'm just going to stop it. It makes no sense to me. Hi, Luna. Hi, Luna. Yes. So I don't know. Going to VA mental health ward, then getting out, seeing that a claim was put in, was anxiety added without any Reddit or VSO knowledge about it. Went away for a few months, but a vid on it might help others not freak. What part of it? Just going to the mental health ward, like what that looks like? Like, I've worked in the mental health ward. I've been the suicide prevention coordinator at a VA MC, or VA medical center. So I've been the suicide prevention coordinator. I've done post groups after inpatient treatment for mental health. So, I mean, I could do a video on it. I just don't know if there'd be a lot of people that want it or need it. So I just put in for an increase and they say I'm on step 4, but I haven't had a CMP yet. Are they going to give me one? Well, technically they have to give you one. The only time that they typically rate based upon the medical information is if they can award you the maximum benefit for it. If they can award you the maximum benefit, then yes, they will not need like if you had, let's say, COPD, and there's clear evidence that you're on outpatient oxygen, then they can grant you at 100% and you don't have to go for an examination. So that, in those instances, that would make sense. Jackie, Nurse Jackie. We love Nurse Jackie here. We'd love it if Nurse Jackie would do more videos because I am very interested in what Nurse Jackie has to say. I am personally interested in it, and I think you might be too. So definitely give Nurse Jackie some encouragement to put more videos on the YouTubes. Odd question, maybe, but if you see a positive opinion for both secondary causation and it also includes verbiage of aggravation in an opinion, is that okay? No, that is, oh my gosh, that is, so number one, that would be an insufficient exam. So for VA jargon between me and Jackie here, that would be an insufficient exam because the cause of the condition cannot be before service even started and after service ended. So that would be a logical conflicting evidence right there. And this is what happens with a lot of private medical opinions, is a lot of private medical opinions rely on using two different two different theories at the same time, a lot of the times it's not intentional. They just adopted a template for their medical opinion from one of their peers. And it kind of says like the most egregious one is when you see the condition was caused by service, but is also due to PTSD, or the condition was caused by service, but also due to so and so. That's a direct service theory and a secondary service theory. My going joke on that is John cannot have died of natural causes in 2000 and also died of murder in 2017. So it's for Raiders, it breaks our brain to that degree. You have to pick one because there's doubt there. I don't know which one to pick. And when Raiders actually rate something, there's a drop down that and let me see if it'll work. There's a drop down that you've got to put in order to pick direct, secondary, aggravation. It will not let you pick more than one. And if QRT gets a hold of that and says, wait a minute, they said both of these at the same time, you're supposed to go back and defer the claim and double check and see why. They have to pick one. They can't have both. They've just got to pick one. Yes, we're on TikTok now, kids. I hope that answered your question, though, Jackie. But yeah. Veteran, exposed toxins. I did check your email, and I was meaning to call you today, but I have been pretty darn sick. So I will try to reach out to you tomorrow, if that's okay. The time zones really jack me up, so I'll have to reach out to you then. But I am looking forward to talking to you. Hey, Raider. Finally reached TDIU PNT after 2 years of fighting. Thank you for all your help, wisdom, and advice. Donation coming when it hits. You don't have to do that, Michael. I added SMCS supplemental. How long do you estimate second process? You shouldn't have to do that way. If they didn't give you... So here's what I would do, Michael. I would go to a VSO and I would say, have a VSO with VBMS look up the rating decision specifically for TDIU. I want to know what specific conditions were used to apply your TDIU. So if it was only one, here, let me see if it'll work. Yes. One single condition, right? One that was used to adjudicate and determine that you had TDIU, you can have SMC S1. Okay. If you happen to have multiple things that were used to determine TDIU, like PTSD, my back, my so-and-so, then that is excluded. It's not one single condition, because SMC S1, you have to have one single disability at 100%. And if TDIU is based upon multiple things, it won't count. So I hope that yeah. And that's the problem, Michael Davis. That's the problem. What I'm hoping, like, honest to God, in the future, what I'm hoping is I can get some form of accreditation to where I can help you guys with that. Okay. Well, that's fine, Michael Davis. I will leave that to you. You don't have to donate, though. That's cool. I'm happy that you were able to get there. Presumption of aggravation. Nice. I like that, the Salty Old Marine. Oh, I'm a little behind, so let's get there. My claim is still in step 3 at 90 days. I withdrew it 30 days ago, so hopefully the website should update soon and close it out. Okay, good. Whew. Dark Lava Monk. Thank you for your donation. I appreciate it. And we did miss a couple, so Big C, Gotta Switch, thank you for becoming a member. And Pamela Watkins, thank you for becoming, for your donation. I appreciate it. And Oh man, yeah, this medicine is not working. Let's go. Is it possible to be rated 100% for mental health while being successful in school and through VR and E? Yes. Yes. Yes, it is. I happen to know somebody specifically that may have that particular thing. And it depends on what you have. If you have one of the symptoms or traits of the symptoms that currently require you to be at 100%, then that's all it takes to be 100%. How successful you are in life, like, you might be successful, but it could require a lot of, like, you could have a large support network. You could have, you know, no support network and just force your way through it, square peg round hole. But it is possible. One of the symptoms that I know specifically is spatial distortions, time distortions. I don't know if you've ever had this or not, but if you ever had a panic attack that gets your heart rate going so fast that time starts to stutter. If that's the case, then that would count for time distortions under the 100 percentile. I do know someone who has had that granted. And it's legitimate, it's valid, it's something that my doctors have noted. It's, you're going to have a stroke if your heart doesn't slow down. You know, you're on this medication to slow your heart down, or you may die, type thing. So it all depends on your evidence. Everything is possible. And yes, it is terrifying, but that symptom is how you can get 100% and not have a personality disorder, to be quite honest with you. Hi, Raider HQ. Red Team Logic. Should I err on the side of caution and submit a 2142A whenever I file, even if I'm providing the same evidence as part of the FTC? I think you mean 4142? 4142? Is that what you mean? Okay. Or let me see here. I think you mean 4142. I always add, okay. So this is me double, triple tapping something, okay? Even if you submit the evidence with your claim, I also suggest filing a VA form 4142 and 4142A form. So that way the rater, even if they're weird, can't accuse you of hiding anything. You just give access and you're just like, here, I gave it all to you, but if you really want to see it, you can grab it yourself. Raider HQ, are any indicators that your exam went, this weight is killing? I think I answered this one already. There's no indicators other than to check your va.gov website and kind of identify. You'll see the change to your disabilities there before you see it anywhere else. So that's it. Unfortunately, the weight's part of the process. Okay. All my life, I'll never find another like you. Well, okay. Is there a way to drop a line via email? Not enough characters available here. I mean, I'm not going to guarantee that I will answer anybody's email. But there you go. That's, I don't guarantee it, but if it happens, it happens. Just had an exam on my right hip, second to my left. Examiner keyed in on SSI joint for pain in hip. Is that bad? Why is it doing that? Is that a bad sign as SI is lower back rated? Maybe not. Because what can happen, let me see if I'll do this. Your hips, right? That's where your SI joints, your sacral iliac joints kind of connect to the sacrum iliac ilias. That's where they kind of connect. Your hips connect to the spine type thing. Your pelvis, I should say, connects to the spine. And that can technically be part of your hip joint area, because let's say that your hips are offset. I want to say ilium. Your hips are offset, which causes your actual femur to be offset. That can be, yeah, Joey, I am on my deathbed. But that is kind of, they can still be connected. I wouldn't worry quite yet. So the presumption of soundness means that you have an examination when you enter into service, and that examination at MEPS is meant to identify any pre-existing conditions that you may have had. If the examination and or medical screening prior to joining the service do not identify a disability, then for that category, you are deemed to be sound, medically sound. So that's what the presumption of soundness is. If you went into the service and there was nothing wrong with your feet upon examination, and you end up getting flat feet during service and getting it treated, then the origin of that particular condition is the service, because they did an entrance exam which determined that it didn't exist prior to service. So, oh my gosh. Oh, hold on. I'm going to see if I can make it change. Let me see here. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's just get terrifying. Why not? We're testing. This is testing, guys. Testing. Yeah, that one probably mortifies people. We'll do Wolfie. Okay. Is this better? Is this more alarming or not? So it's kind of a fun little program. So you can pick little avatars here if you want to. I just picked like the guy that looks normal. I mean, I could do this dude right here. Looks even weirder. But there's a lot of different stuff here. So, I mean, oh man, it's too weird. Yeah. Let's get back to it though. Let's answer some questions as the skeleton. All right. Here we go. Just to freak people out. Here, let's see here. How does the VA verify a stressor if it happened during a classified PRP assignment and it isn't documented in my service records? So what happens is the eyelids are weirding me out. What happens is you have to tell the VA that it is classified. And when you say that it's classified, then what happens is a special review happens where they ask the DOD, hey, look, is there any indication that the veteran could have hurt themselves during this period of time during a super secret squirrel thing? And if what happens is that the DOD will just say yes or no. That's it. I need something black behind me. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of weird, guys. I can't figure out TikTok either. I told him I can only get what doctor and hospital has, and they destroyed everything past 10 years for HIPAA. That can happen, unfortunately. Sorry, there's a plane that seems to want to land on my house right now, so I apologize if you can hear that. Starting to feel a little bit better. Starting to get a little bit of better complexion over here on my bones. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think I look better? I mean, that neck turn is horrible. I could get that service connected. Let me change this out. I'm just for everybody. Why not? Hello. Hi. The voice don't match the body. All right, let's go back. Osteoporosis, that's funny. All right, let's get back to it. Enough fun. So I'm rated for OSA, rhinitis, and tinnitus. What is a stronger secondary for migraines? Sinusitis. Sinusitis can cause headaches, and headaches and migraines are not the same thing. But I would say that. I would also say anxiety and mental health. OSA can cause headaches, but I don't know. I'll defer to Jackie on that. GC Jarhead. Yeah, the face reveals right here. This is it. That's what I look like. Max headroom. Thank you for the gem earlier. I got my asthma severed because they said that I mentioned having asthma as a child. Oh no, that doesn't work like that. That does not work like that. The presumption of soundness, if they don't have any evidence, like legal evidence showing that the condition existed prior to service, then nope. That is I would go to the BVA with that one. Is TBI, obesity, OSA with increasing weight recorded through successive PHAs in service a strong claim? I mean, it is a strong claim, yes, but what happens is the TBI causing the obesity is going to be the hardest portion of that little two separate medical opinions, because you have two separate medical opinions. Did TBI cause obesity, and did obesity cause OSA? So lay statements, things like that, you're going to want them to be tailored more towards TBI causing obesity. Private medical opinions are exactly what I am referring to, but not so much pre-existing conditions being aggravated when a service-connected condition aggravated. Oh, you mean 38 CFR 3.310B. That is horrific. I don't like that one. Number one, because most raters don't understand it. They just don't. Like they don't understand that form of aggravation. And when they do, they typically apply it wrong. So I don't really care for it. Examiner said, since I have a medical gap, I will be denied and nothing he can do. But something, several records were. Yeah. So what you need to do is you need to actually provide evidence between 2001 and 2025 showing how you were treated, showing how it was all that the disability continued, that you didn't get into a car accident in 2017 and that's why you have the condition that you have. So that's what they mean. And that's the examiner. The examiner has to be able, you have to convince the examiner of that gap and why that gap shouldn't matter. Claim was denied. Reason section stated not new and relevant. Review older file, not the new Nexus from the docs PCP. Should I file a supplemental since I caught the mistake, or higher level review? If they claimed that you were denied due to no new and relevant evidence, and you actually submitted new evidence that was never part of the claim beforehand, I would probably do a higher level review, to be quite honest with you. That is true. That is true. RHG for veterans is Jackie, Nurse Jackie. Okay, homebody, Miss Katie, sorry. I have a stomach claim, okay, that was denied in 2012 because there was no formal diagnosis. Even though my records documented ongoing GI symptoms affecting my daily functioning, I filed later, and I'm trying to see if that's later on. And since IBS is a functional gastro disorder that is often diagnosed based upon symptoms, should the earlier documented symptoms and functional impairment have been considered even before the formal diagnosis was made? And when the VA examiner later confirmed IBS, can that diagnosis help establish that the connection was likely existed earlier? Okay, so the problem is this has to do with 38 CFR 3.159C type thing. If I'm 159, in that the examiner reviewed the symptoms. As long as the examiner reviewed the symptoms and the evidence was put before the examiner can have their opinion on that particular historical DBQ. If they felt like it didn't rise to the occasion of a diagnosis, there's not much you can do to fight that other than to have the exam request for that period of time pulled. If the records were not given to the examiner in which it shows that you had the symptoms, then you might have grounds under that criteria. Oh, that's cool. Her vet's voice. That's cool. You and Jackie going live. That's awesome. And I've already spoken about her vet's voice. They've got 2 good raters on there, FF and Natural. Definitely worth a watch. Oh, man. Wow, I am mental health, PTSD, 100% PNT. I didn't have to have exam. I have multiple, okay, and plenty of other mental health. I would be interested in a mental health video stream. Why? You're 100% PNT. But, okay. I mean, interesting. Very interesting. Definitely let me know. Let me know if there's an additional question in there. If you apply for SMCS, do you potentially get re-examined for the other conditions? Not if you claim SMCS. Okay. If you say SMCS, my PTSD has gotten worse. Yeah, that'll reopen a bunch of stuff, type thing. But if you just claim SMCS is a criteria-based thing. You have to meet a single disability at 100% and then combined disabilities at 60%. If you meet that, then you should be granted SMCS. There's no need to discuss anything. Okay, ATC, Raider. So would my 70% major depressive disorder, PGD, help me with my denied OSA and denied migraines? Weight gain and sleep apnea is relevant. Need also Nexus. Thank you. I mean, yeah, it would be relevant. I mean, you could. It depends on what your evidence is and how well and effective you are at linking. I won't bring my hands any closer, but linking together your evidence in a coherent way that makes sense for the examiner. If you just throw papers at an examiner, they're going to have a tough time making that connection unless it's very obvious. But if you provide a chronicity statement showing that, hey, look, from here to here, I weighed this much for OSA and evidenced by, you can see it in my medical records right here and here, or, really, Zoe is sitting next to me snoring. But yeah, if you can intertwine your evidence in a chronicity statement, those, in my opinion, are some of the most effective lay statements or personal statements that you can do, where you create the narrative, the timeline for the examiner to follow. And makes you out to be a good reporter if what you're saying is matched by evidence. And I can't speak for examiners, but I think they like that. Jason, no, I have not. I just reported a few of my TikTok shorts. Well, you need to get on this, Jackie. Jackie, we need you over here. Dizzy Willow, thank you for the support, the $4.99 support. I appreciate it. I'm not saying the name, but yes, hi, how's it going? And the VA does love those 4142 forms, and they will solicit them if you imply that you received care at a non-medical provider or a non-VA provider. Yes. Has the VA ever has a veteran ever submitted for a higher level review and explained a case so well that it's granted without your formal conference in the veteran's favor? I'm going to say yes. And it has to do with like the VA never got my STRs. So how could you deny me if you never got my STRs? Something like that, yeah. It doesn't need to talk to you. Like the DRO doesn't need to talk to you to determine that that is egregious. If it's something that is subjective in nature, no. The DROs, I mean, I've seen it to where DROs have denied without doing an informal conference because they're like, no, this is just gibberish. Like, especially whenever somebody starts flaunting case law around. And that's the hill I'll die on forever, is that case law is case law. It gets translated into the M21, and the DROs don't want to hear that. Good Lord, Zoe. Come on. Here, wake up. Come on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got to get up. You got to move around. I don't want you dying. Hello there, Raider. If someone gets SMCL for major depressive disorder, 100%, OSA 50%, migraines, headaches 50% combined, can they still get Barry's half step? I don't know. I'll read the rest of the question, but I don't know. Barry's half steps for additional service connection that are 50% or above. The reason why I don't know is because QRT hasn't mandated how exactly the Raiders are supposed to do Barry's half steps. So the problem with that is that you've got Raiders that are behaving independently and they're not behaving in unison with each other. There's been no formal guidance to say this is exactly how we feel, how the VA feels on this topic. What's been told to me is that they're being told, that Raiders are being told, look, you already have guidance on this. Just follow what the manual says, which, if you know, the manual isn't really applying Barry too hard. So I would just wait. No worries about that, bro. I mean, if you saw, I was reading weird things earlier. So, I mean, it happens to the best of us. Have you found that Raiders maybe have a problem liking? Jeez. Okay. Let's guys, my eyes are not playing well with me tonight. Have you found that Raiders have a problem linking sections of a DBQ linking sections of a DBQ to M21 or 38 CFR Part 4? Yeah, that's going to be common. Like, newer Raiders are not really looking. So what happens, and now this is just my opinion. Okay, I'm going to preface this with, this is just my opinion, so do not kill the messenger. Newer Raiders look shallow at the regulations. Seasoned Raiders go deeper into the manual, deeper into much more gray areas of logic and reason. Seasoned Raiders are much more comfortable at taking chances or going with their gut. Newer raters are not. Newer raters will go by the book black and white. Now, a lot of the times you might go, well, Raider, when you explain things, you explain things black and white. You want us to submit things black and white. Yes. Yes, I do. Because you could get a newer Raider, right? And if you get a newer Raider, you want it black and white. So that's why I said earlier, whenever I was talking about how there can be differences of opinion about educating veterans about how the process works. I'm trying to tailor my education for the highest likelihood of success, the lowest common denominator to win potentially. So that's why I say things the way that I do. I'm sick, country boy. I think my fever's come down a little bit since the medicine kicked in, but oof. Oh no. MCM has betrayed me. Raider, I'm going to disagree a little bit about the 4142. I have sent thousands of pages of medical records. They asked for the M21 and request the medical records that I sent. Then they bombarded. Yeah, it can happen. Yes. Yes, I do. Would a mood disorder with psychosis symptoms, hallucinations, and delusions with probability of bipolar disorder meet the 100% criteria? Yeah, if service connected. I mean, obviously, it depends on what other symptoms you have, but the delusions and hallucinations are found squarely in the 100% criteria. So they would, oh, that would be nice. A coffee cup, rainbow poopy butt. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so hallucinations and delusions for psychosis actually do put you in in the category of having 100%. But evening Raider, if cardio myopathy, cardio, I'm going to say cardiomyopathy in STR and now diagnosed med evidence, what would file under? Do I file? Okay. Grace, direct probably. If it happened in STRs, if you have a cardio incident that happened in STRs and you have a cardio incident now, that would be a direct service connection theory right there. Probably. Oh man. I'm dying. See, I got to the part where I was a dog. I'm going to try to create a Luna avatar. Yep, that's one of my favorite movies. That is one of my favorite movies, Sean. Zoe, you slept all day. You don't have receipts. You don't have narcolepsy to support whatever this is. You need to wake up. This is weird. How common is it for a CMP examiner to request x-rays? Depends on what it is. And what if no favorable findings are found? If no favorable findings are found, none are found. It's common for them to request x-rays if they're trying to prove something, or if the condition requires it, like sinusitis requires an x-ray. If one's never been done before, then I can understand why they would probably want to do it. Hey, John Michaels, how you doing tonight? Muscular skeletal, that should be your avatar. When you talk about the condition as a skeleton, yeah, I mean, that's what I should do. If you get medically separated in boot camp due to stress fractures in your ankle, feet and ankles and shins, can you get service connected? Yes. Under Shin splints, yeah. I mean, at the minimum, probably. I mean, you have a good reason, like they were severe enough for you to get separated. So the examiner was going to have a hard time discounting that a permanent disability could have come from them if you were separated due to them. So, yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. John Michaels, I got a good one for you. If someone is 70% for mental health IUPT from 2015, then they put in for an increase in and are awarded 100% P&T scheduler from 2020, does the 20-year rule apply from the IU P&T? Okay. John Michaels, this is a very good question. So my answer is it depends on who the rater is and how they interpret the actual regulation. Service connected for 20 years means it can't be severed. It can potentially be reduced if you bring it to issue, but if it'd have to be at that percentage, I don't think it could go below 70, to be honest with you. I don't think so. Like, I count the 20-year rule being the 20-year rule. If you've been service connected for 20 years, I don't even look at it, is the way that I did it. I don't know. I do not have a date of the scheduler. Oh, never mind. Date or the scheduler increase. Okay. Yeah, I got it. I have 30 days of medical records while a patient at Noble Army Hospital. Which documents many of my issues? How do I get them? FOIA request. I mean, honestly, it's probably going to be a FOIA request. And her vet's voice. They humbly let me, like, I'm humbled. They let me onto their live stream that they were doing. And I think that, I'm not going to lie, there's a lot of dudes out here talking about veteran issues. And it is nice to have non-dudes, females. I'm not going to pronoun things. I'm horrible at it. But, it's nice to have diverse voices out here in the YouTube community. So if you haven't, go over to Her Vet's Voice and check them out. I'm kind of horrible at YouTube, so I'm just going to be honest with you. I promote other people more than promoting myself. So if, like, same thing with the Salty Old Marine, go over, give them a try. If you haven't given them at least a 2-video try, go do so. If you like them, watch them, because I'm not the end all be all on this information. Okay. The Salty Old Marine can give out information better than me in some categories, and sometimes I can do better than the Salty Old Marine. The same thing with Her Vet's Voice. There's 2 raters on there. They have, a similar perspective on many things, but they have a different perspective in some instances. One of the things I want to say is that there is no one size fits all for this. This is an evidence-based thing. Not all claims are the same. The answers that I give might not work. Somebody else might have a better answer than I do. That's entirely possible. I do not have so much hubris that I think that I am the only game in town. So I think that it's best to kind of spread the wealth for the veteran community, because the more good actors that we have in the community, the better the veterans experience will hopefully be. Just my thoughts. Introduction physical confirms that my feet were clinically normal at the time of entry, whereas my separation physical explicitly documents a diagnosis of pes planus. Does this clear service connection? This means that it didn't pre-exist service, so it means that you have the ability to get it directly service connected, which sounds like the most logical pathway. What you'll probably have to do is you'll probably have to explain any continuity or chronicity issues associated with your pes planus from leaving service until current day. But that's like the best case scenario for you to get a direct service connection. Let me just scroll down here a little bit. The fever seems to be going down, but it's still killing me. Hi, Raider. Asking for a friend for supplemental claim. How long is it to typically for PFD phase? What? So you got development, and then you've got RFD. I'm going to assume that that's RFD, ready for decision phase, which is when the rater gets it. Or there's RDC, rating decision complete, which is the authorizer phase. So there's development phase, there's RFD phase, which is the raters phase, and then there's RDC, rating decision complete phase. So the exams are done and with an RO. So that means it's in the RFD phase and it's given to an examiner. So the examiner is going to be determining whether or not they have enough evidence to rate what they have. I'm going to let you guys know I might not be able to stream too much longer. Zoe has been diagnosed with OSA. Uh-oh. My family is home. Specifically, what is a realistic time on getting our response? There's no way to tell. There is no way to tell. It takes as long as it takes. There's so many different variables involved in that decision. Like, are you flagged for like a high risk flag, like terminal illness? If so, those go to the front of the line, right? Is it at the national work queue? Is it at a regional office? Who is it assigned to? Is it assigned to a rater? Is it assigned to an authorizer? Is it assigned to a promulgator? Each one of those answers will change when the probability is. How many claims does the authorizer have in their queue? It's very challenging to answer that question. But I do have a shaving waiver. I do. I don't know if you can see, but I get the little, I get the bumps. Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. And do we have to prove or show proof of everything that happened in the military or the fact that we filed during active duty covering? I'm going to assume that this might be a pre-discharge or BDD kind of claim. If that's the case, your DBQ will be element 1, element 2, and element 3 if it happened before service ended. Like if your claim happened before service ended, then everything that's proven is proven. Now, but generally, yeah, you have to prove everything that happened in service. You have to link it together. You've got to do some legwork on that. But I have an OTH and had undiagnosed mental health that is currently diagnosed, but my character discharge was denied and compensation was denied. I submitted a higher level review and it was closed, but they opened an administrative decision. Okay, so the administrative claim is hopefully going to re-adjudicate your character of discharge. If found to be upgraded, then you will get kicked back through the review process and you will be either awarded, granted, or whatever. If it's negative, not in your favor, then unfortunately what's going to happen is you're going to get a confirm and continue on this. So, all right, Raider, I have a lower extremity gunshot wound where the pain continues to worsen when the treatment over the years. How long do I need to wait for pain rating increase? Pain is 10%. Like you could have 12 out of 10 pain and it's still only going to be 10%. For the most part. I mean, shoulders get 20% minimum, but pain itself is not something that rates you higher. What the pain causes, if the pain causes you to have limitation of motion of certain areas, if it's a musculoskeletal condition, gunshot wounds also behave differently. So if a gunshot wound, a through and through penetrating wound, or just a penetrating wound, caused you to have muscle damage, nerve damage, typically because it's a gunshot wound, those two things cannot be rated separately depending on the circumstances. I'll have to do a video on this one, trade jungie. But yeah, musculoskeletal conditions are very weird. It's one of the few times that I got an error that I feel like I learned something from was whenever I was first starting out as rating, and I had a gunshot wound that I rated wrong. I actually separately rated them, and they explained why I rated it wrong. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, that makes sense. So I'll have to do a video on it. And that's fine, guys. I don't mind if you guys talk about that. I've given, just to be clear, I've given Hervet's voice permission to talk about her channel on here. So just letting you know. Same thing with the Salty Old Marine. If the Salty Old Marine has any kind of announcements, I am fine with them. Also, I'm fine with the Salty Old Marine saying it. You can promote yourself on here. I'm fine with it. Had asthma secondary to chronic bronchitis that was consolidated into 30%. This made my service-connected tinnitus moot. It's over 20 years. Can I refile for tinnitus and possibly backdate effective date? Wow, that's very weird. I'd have to know more. I'd honestly have to know more about that because that's a very odd connection, and I don't know if there's a reason, like a Meniere's type reason, or how they did it. If it's a clear and unmistakable error, you should file it. But I'd go get legal counsel for that one, honestly, if I were you. I hope you feel better. My wife and 3 kids are all down with it too. I'm hiding in my garage trying not to get. That's what I feel like, but I think I caught it, and it is just fatiguing and it's horrible. And I keep getting fevers and weird stuff and coughing, and then I'll get better, and then I get worse, and I get better, and I get worse. It's miserable. Did they grant 0% based upon this statement for? Oh, geez. Diastasis recti, a 0% evaluation would be warranted based on a diagnosis disability with no compensable symptoms. I mean, yeah, there's no compensable symptoms. So you didn't state any symptoms in the 38 CFR Part 4, or the examiner didn't find them, just to be honest with you. I've got my hand on my chin, and this thing is freaking out. If I make a claim for TBI with my migraines and my, I want to say GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, will they get lumped into the TBI and lose them? I mean, they can be, but the typical rule of thumb is that if they're going to link them together, then they have to at least, the combined evaluation must be the same or higher. I don't know. So they can, yes. They can take a mental health and a migraine and combine it with TBI, yes. My VSO checked VBMS and said that my OSA DBQ was a positive medical opinion, but a new exam request just appeared on the portal. Is that usually a records review addendum? That's usually a new DBQ addendum or a insufficient exam addendum saying that, hey, look, even though you said yes to this and even though you're giving a positive medical opinion, is this based? I can't find element 2 or your element 3, your rationale makes no sense. So this is probably a clarification or insufficiency. So it was, what happens with this is the medical opinion was positive until the rater deferred it back because it was insufficient for something. Once that happens, that's not a positive medical opinion anymore unless the clarification that the rater requested upholds the positive medical opinion. I don't know if that makes sense. Just going to scroll down here real quick. Does 100% mental health rating limit what field of work you can work in? For example, the mental health field. No. It does not limit anything. It is as limiting as your symptoms are. I suffer from agoraphobia. Could I go outside and be, a trail guide? No, I couldn't. So, I mean, any kind of mental health rating prevents what it prevents. But there's no like unspoken stigma that prevents you from doing a job if you can physically do it. I might suggest not doing certain jobs, knowing full well that you will probably get fired from them. I have a few of them that I know that I could not do. And if I tried to do it, it would be just a recipe for disaster. So you've got to know your own limitations and work within the boundaries that your current status of treatment or current status of your illness let you to. So, I'm screwed says something in the line. I'm looking down here at the scroll wheel, but it says, does the VA have a good programs to decipher old military records that are handwritten? Yes. VBMS has a search function with an AI feature that I am genuinely impressed with because it can read doctor cursive. It can read doctor's cursive. And it's genuinely impressive. So, yes. What am I rated for? My service-connected disabilities. I will never say more than that. I do have mental health, right? I've told you guys I suffer from agoraphobia. So that's one of the things that I suffer from. I have a few more things on the books, but mostly agoraphobia, which is kind of a very odd disorder because people think that I can't leave my house, which it's part of it, but it's an irrational fear of things happening is what it is. So I can leave my house. I can only I get weirded out. I have safe places and whatnot, and it's kind of bizarre. Yep, definitely. I say support our sisters. I do. And I'll be honest with you, we need a more diverse YouTube platform. What the hell? Okay, let me go down here. And it is always good to get different views. And that's what makes me so weird, to be quite honest with you, is because in the way I was taught from my work ethic, whenever I was taught my work ethic over time, I was always taught never assume that you're the best at anything. Always look at other people's views because complacency makes you an idiot. It's not a very profound saying or anything like that, but if you think you know more than other people, then you are setting yourself up for failure. That's why I always fall for clickbait because I'm like, did something change and I didn't notice it, And so I do honor and respect other people's views as long as they're nice. You call me a racist, though, I will lay hands. I mean, if I still can't get over that one, that was weird. Man, that was bad. Question on P&T with IU. If I call 10 times to the VA to see what I am, I got 5 people telling me I'm IU and can't work, and 5 people telling you that you are. Okay, so here's the rule. If you're on IU, you can work, but you can't have gainful employment, which typically means that you make over $15,000 a year. If you make $14,000 a year, you're fine. If you make $16,000, you're in some trouble and you're going to lose your IU. So just keep that in mind. And this goes for anybody. If you have what I consider an ancillary thing like TDIU, research the hell out of that to know what the boundaries are. Because if you don't know the boundaries of the thing that you are getting compensated for, you could accidentally break a rule that you don't understand. And that would make you very sad because they would be happy to take that away. Okay. Let me see here. So tired. I submitted an independent medical opinion with my claim for right ankle secondary to left. I got a CMP. Was my independent medical opinion burnt? No, not necessarily. So the truth of that matter is, if you submit an independent medical opinion for something, the VA also requires a DBQ. So if a DBQ is not submitted with that independent medical opinion, they have to get it. Oh, okay. Me? I recently retired. So I was a raider up until real recently. So, um, and I won't say that or I will say that my agoraphobia played a lot. Um, I'll try to see what I can do on that. But my agoraphobia played a lot into why I couldn't go into the office, why I had to retire, because they were revisiting reasonable accommodations. And even though, you're rating from home for, many moons, they want to have you go into the office for some stupid reason. And I'm going to tell you straight up, most raters are 10 to 20% more productive with less quality errors when they work from home. There are statistics in Salesforce that can back that up. Okay? Like it makes no sense of why they would have you go into the office. Does the VA have good program? Yeah, I already answered that. Okay. Yeah, and I know like it's going around, guys. Like it's really going around. And I feel horrible. But I gotta do what I gotta do. Hey Raider, VA didn't submit my independent medical opinion to the examiner when I submitted my supplemental. Next step is asking for a higher level review, correct? I mean, you could ask for a higher level review. I always caution that you need to know exactly what you're talking about, because was your independent medical opinion sufficient for rating purposes? And here's the deal. If they find that your independent medical opinion is not sufficient for VA purposes, if the VSR did not find that, the VSR will not include sometimes they can include the medical opinion with the evidence, but sometimes they don't because they don't deem it to be sufficient in any capacity, right? So it's not even worth the paper it's written on. So it's not a guarantee that they will give it to the examiner, and they're not required to at all. And yeah, I already said this one. Recently retired. Missed CMP exam for tinnitus last week and called VA same day to reschedule. No reexamination yet, but notice my claim has now moved to step 5. Received a letter stating that they added a 270820 to the file. That means they tried to call you. An 0820 form is a report of contact form, or it should be, should be a report of contact form. So you need to what I would do is say on a 4138 and submit it to my claim. I would say that, hey, look, I'm willing to go to my examination. Here's the good cause for why I did not attend the first one. And then I would do that. So I am 100% PNT, but because they included IU and I am IU. Well, no, what happens is you're IU until you become naturally 100% PNT. If you get increases to naturally get 100% PNT, then the work requirement goes away. That's the way that works. So if IU is overridden by natural PNT. Like you got there by doing like 150, 160 overall percentage points or something like that. Hypertension. Who can help me connect the dots with service-related Terra and PACT Act flight deck? I mean, that's going to be like a Nurse Jackie question or somebody like that. Like I'm not the person to connect the medical dots on that at all. A VSO won't know how to connect the dots. I mean, most VSOs, and I'm not being discriminatory versus VSOs, but most VSOs don't know how the process beyond claim submission works. So there, take what they say with a grain of salt. If you've got a solid VSO like MCM, she's a unicorn. She's just a prancing unicorn, and you've got to grab onto her and hide her, because people will steal her from you. I don't know what people get really weirded out about that, the way things are named in VBMS after they upload it, and it just automatically gets assigned a thing. And yeah, I don't know what it means, honestly. Got an increase to 20% for my back and a 10% for both legs. I thought I would get 40% separately for my back. Should I do a higher level review? A higher level review will not fix the day on this. The best that a higher level review will do is send you back for a new examination. That's the best case scenario, unless the rater mistakenly didn't apply key features on the DBQ. So that's why I always say you've got to review to see what the DBQ says. And if the DBQ shows that you should be 40% total, then you can argue that like, hey, look, these boxes are checked, and these boxes are the ones that are neat. Because I did a thoracolumbar spine DBQ showing you what it takes to be this and what it takes to be that. So you can review for the DBQ, but you got to get access to it. So you got to go to a VSO to kind of check out and see what the DBQ actually says. I'm fading fast, guys. Hi, Raider. I'm also at 100% temporary, so total, but not permanent. For prostate cancer, I have now achieved 100% service connection. You did the math on a previous live. How do I trigger the VA to award my 100% PNT? Well, you can file a 526 for PNT itself. Just request permanent and total status. That's the name of the disability that you're claiming, is permanent and total status. If you should be permanent and total, then you'll be granted permanent and total status. They'll basically confirm and continue your last rating decision saying that you're permanent and total. If you're not permanent, then they'll deny the PNT, and that tells you that you have, that there's still something wrong. On that 4138, I would also submit a 4138 asking them if you're not permanent and total, to please do a long form narrative and explain why you're not in great detail, so that way you can better understand it. Got a letter of reduction for PTSD 30% for an in-service event. They said that they needed more proof. I did submit buddy statements in support of service events. Did you submit DD214s for those buddies? If you do that, if you have them submit their DD214s, that will help bring credibility to their statements, to be honest with you, to show that they could have been where they were, to know what they know. I am sorry I didn't explain this right. Yes, I was IU and then later made it to 100%. They granted 100% PNT but left the IU. You're fine. You can work. You can work every day, twice on Sundays, if that's the case. If you are a natural, permanent, and total, you can work. Nope. because what happens is IU gets superimposed by natural, permanent, and total because it has a higher benefit than IU because it has no restrictions to work. So it kind of supersedes, overlaps. So you can work as much as you want. If that fact pattern is true, you can work as much as you want. Why would I be reading my screen? Your screen. I'm not reading your screen. It just, my comment section's over here. So it's over this way. Da, 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 da. Well, that's because it's picking up on my facial expressions, and I'm barely keeping my eyes open. So I'll probably take off, guys. We've been doing this for about an hour and a half. Thank you all for taking your hard-earned time to come out and watch and ask your questions. I really do mean that. Like, it does matter to me because your guys' time is valuable. So I try to honor that commitment that you guys give of your time. And I try to answer as many questions as humanly possible. I think those are thunders. I just heard thunder. But yeah, that's about it. So what we're going to have is I'm going to be announcing here in the next week the provider that I'm currently in contract to start training on how to better ensure that they're following the authenticity, credibility, and sufficiency, as well as I'm going to be filling out HIPAA required training for them so that way I can review stuff and whatnot. But yeah, I'll let you guys know that. And then my next live is going to be every Saturday. So every Saturday at 6 p.m. or, well, 5 p.m. Pacific time, I go live, and it's going to just be a Q&A. If something's like really wild going on in the news, or if we get a manual update that's really, really crazy, I'll usually talk about it then. But this time is meant mostly to discuss your questions and to give answers. So if you had a question that I couldn't get to tonight, obviously try to show up a little bit early to the stream because I do answer questions in the chat beforehand. And obviously I tend to get to the questions that are first asked before the questions that are at the end, unfortunately. So I do appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for watching and staying here and just listening to me yammer on about stuff. But anyway, have a wonderful night, guys. Raider out.